In the tech world, dominance is never, ever guaranteed. Fortunes can shift in the blink of an eye. But what we've just seen isn't just a shift. It's a full-on, tectonic, plate-moving reversal that has completely redrawn the AI map. And it all starts with a number that honestly would have sounded crazy just 1 year ago. Okay, check this out. For the first time since 2017, that's 7 years ago, there's a new number 2. As of right now, Alphabet, Google's parent company, has officially leapfrogged Microsoft in market value. And look, this isn't just some random Tuesday stock wobble. No, this is a massive signal from Wall Street about who they believe is winning the future. And the craziest part? If you had told me this was going to happen 12 months ago, I would have said you're nuts. Back then, Google was the sleeping giant that got caught completely off guard in the AI race. So how on earth did we get here? Well, you're about to hear the story of one of the biggest, most improbable comebacks in modern tech. All right, so let's break down how this whole thing actually went down. Because this wasn't some slow, gradual change. Nope, this was an absolute rocket ship that took everyone by surprise. And the proof? Well, it's right there in the numbers. And this is where the story just gets wild. I mean, look at the split. Microsoft up a very respectable 13% for the year. Hey, for a multi-trillion-dollar company, that's solid. But then you look at Alphabet, up a staggering 58%. That's not a gap, my friends. That's a canyon. It tells you everything you need to know about where the smart money is flowing. So what happened? How did Microsoft let this commanding lead just vanish? To really get how insane this comeback is, we've got to rewind the clock, because it wasn't that long ago that the story was the complete opposite. Microsoft was the undisputed king of the AI hill, no question. And Google, man, they look like they were down for the count. You remember, right? Microsoft drops a boatload of cash on OpenAI, and bam, ChatGPT is everywhere. They started baking it into everything with Copilot, and their target was clear: go right after Google's crown jewel, search. And honestly, for a hot minute, it really looked like they were going to pull it off. They had all the buzz, all the hype. They were the darlings of the tech world. And it wasn't just the media saying this. This feeling was everywhere. This comment from a popular Reddit thread, okay, it's a little crude, but it perfectly sums up the vibe at the time. Everybody thought Google was just in full-on panic mode, throwing stuff at the wall to see what would stick. It just looked messy. But then something shifted. It started slowly, and then it happened all at once. The tide turned. Google wasn't just playing defense anymore. They went on the attack. And man, was it effective. And just like that, the whole narrative flipped. As this one analyst perfectly put it, the sleeping giant was now fully awake. The perception went from Google being reactive to Google being back in control. So what was their secret weapon? It all came down to the tech, plain and simple. Google unleashed Gemini, their new family of AI models, and the results were a knockout. On these super tough tests, we're talking PhD-level reasoning problems. Gemini didn't just hold its own against OpenAI's latest and greatest, it actually beat them. That was the moment everyone realized, whoa, wait a second. Google's tech isn't just catching up, it might actually be better. And we're not just talking about winning on a spreadsheet. This thing took off with users like you wouldn't believe. Get this, 650 million people started using Gemini every single month. To give you some context, that's more people than live in all of North America. They built that audience in what felt like the blink of an eye. That's the kind of scale that only Google can pull off. Okay, so we know what they did, but the real story is how. How did they move so fast and hit so hard? Well, it turns out this wasn't an overnight miracle. It was a plan they'd been working on for over a decade. The secret sauce is what people in the biz call a full stack advantage. Think of it like a master chef who grows their own vegetables and forges their own knives. First, Google designs and builds their own custom chips for AI, their TPUs. Then they use those specialized chips to train their killer AI models, like Gemini. And finally, they push that AI out to literally billions of us through apps we all use every day, like Search and YouTube. When you control every single step of the process, you're faster, you're more efficient, and you can innovate in a way nobody else can touch. And this really gets to the core difference between the two companies, right? Like this one person pointed out, Microsoft basically hired a really talented mercenary, OpenAI, to fight its battles. Google, on the other hand, has been training its own army for a decade. Their AI-first mantra wasn't just a slogan. They were building everything from the ground up in-house. They were playing the long game all along. And this long game approach is paying off in other ways too. For years, the knock on Google was, oh, they're just an ad company. Well, that's just not true anymore. Look at this. Their ad business is still huge, but it's a smaller piece of the pie. And other parts of the business, especially Google Cloud, are absolutely exploding. We're talking a future contract backlog of over $155 billion. This isn't just an ad company anymore. It's a diversified tech beast. But if you needed one final sign that the tide had truly turned, it came in the form of one massive investment. A number that made everyone in finance stop what they were doing, $4.3 billion. And who made that bet? None other than the Oracle of Omaha himself, Warren Buffett, through Berkshire Hathaway. Now, you have to understand this is a huge deal. Buffett is famously cautious, almost allergic to high-flying tech stocks. So for the most legendary long-term investor on the planet to suddenly drop over $4 billion on Google, well, that's about the biggest stamp of approval you can possibly get. So that brings us right back to today. The dust from the first big battle of the AI wars has settled, and the map looks totally different from how it started just a year ago. So let's just do a quick scoreboard check. Market cap? Google's on top. Stock performance this year? Google by a country mile. The best AI model right now? All signs point to Gemini. The comeback story is real, folks. This is the new reality. But here's the thing about tech. The throne is never safe. As soon as you're number one, you've got a giant target on your back. So the trillion-dollar question is, can Google actually hold on to this lead? Because both of these giants are sailing into some serious headwinds. For Google, it's the regulators. They're facing massive antitrust cases that could really shake things up. And for Microsoft, it's about money and strategy. They're burning through cash to keep up in the AI race. And let's be honest, their whole partnership with OpenAI is complicated. So yeah, the great AI reversal has happened, but the war, it is far from over. And the next battle between these two is going to shape the future of technology for every single one of us. You can bet on that.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It really helps the channel grow. See you in the next video.